Hi, for our CS410 final project, we built a website called Resume Ranker. There are 5 people in our team: 彭顾、嘉文吴、金灵徐、玉杰绍, and 柯涵李. So this presentation has 4 parts. First, I'm going to introduce the purpose of our application. Then I will talk about the usage of the application. I will then show the links to our code. Finally, we're going to introduce some functionalities of the website. So the purpose of our application is to allow employers select job candidates. Our application will filter job candidates' resumes and then give employers the top K most qualified job candidates. Our application is useful for employers from small companies since it can help them save the time looking for candidates' resume one by one. Our website is really easy to use. You don't need to install any additional packages. Both our front end and back end are deployed to the cloud, so you don't need to store anything locally. You could just click the link to go to our website and start using it. Here is a link to our website. Here is the links to our code. For the front end, we use React JavaScript, and the source code is in the link below. For the backend, we use Python Flask with Heroku Cloud Server to save our candidates' resumes, and the source code is in the link below.
We used React.js to implement for the web page. And on the web page, the user would be able to enter a queries, and also he or she would be able to choose the number of candidates that they want to see. For example, if an employer wants to hire people for machine learning, he could enter that as a query, and the page will display the top ranked resumes that most related to this keyword. Also, if he entered something that is not related to any of the resumes, the page will display no resumes. And the user could click on the link to see the PDF file.
For the backend, there are 4 major components. The first one is file storage. We directly save the PDF files to Python API on cloud. The second one is we parse and clean the files and then store the contents as a JSON file. Then we implemented a ranking function. So we designed the config.toml, and then we also used the meta.index.Jelinek-Mercer. We tried different methods for ranking the functions, and we found out that this method works the best. And then we return the results of ranking to front end. We will return names of those top ranking candidates, and also we return the links to PDF files to those candidates as well. There are more details about the front end, the back end. So the app.py contains the main function of the back end. And in read pdf.py, we have the function to parse and get the test content of each PDF file. In the ranking function, we have ranking functions to do rankings, and also we will get the queries from the front end, and then we eliminate stop words, and then we return a list of candidates in a descending order of relevance. Then in the utils.py, we have some helper functions for code decomposition. That's it for the PPT, and next we'll show you the demo of our project.
So firstly, I will start demoing our front-end web page for our final project. So here the user can enter the keywords they would like to search, as well as to filter out how many resumes they would like to view. For example, if the user is looking for a software engineer and he types software here, and here he can filter out the top 9 most relevant resumes by clicking on the drop-down menu here. For example, we want to look at the top 4 most relevant resumes here, and after click on search, you will be given the first name, last name, and the link to the resume. So here, if you look for software here, and it will show up that this candidates have taken classes related to software development, and this candidate has also has some experience with software engineer. And if you look for some keywords that does not exist, for example, fights, it will show that no resume is available and the drop-down menu is also disabled here. And secondly, I will start showing the code for the front-end page. Here we use React.js to build the front end and use Axios to call the backend API. And here we have different functions and to handle the API GET request as well as the state of current web page. And here we use a table list view to show the results.
Now let's introduce our backend of our final project. So here is the homepage of the backend of our final project. It only has hello world because there's no point of implementing user interface in the backend because we also have a front end user interface there. So we defined several endpoints in our backend. The first one is to return the text content of the PDF file. Say we want to see the text content of this guy's PDF file, so it returns every information in the resume. So the next endpoint is if we want to search for a query, say we are searching for machine learning, and if we hit this endpoint, it will return a list of qualified candidates. The first candidate is the most relevant and the last candidate is least relevant. Some of the candidates may not appear in the list because they are absolutely non-relevant to the query. So then let me turn up the source code and introduce each file. The most important file is app.py. So this is like the start point of the API and it is most important. So I define several functions here. This one, as I showed before, returns the text information of the resume. And then the key function is rank documents. The front end calls this function and receives the list of candidates as I showed before. So this one returns the total number of documents in the folder. And this one returns the actual PDF file to the front end. Go back. So we also define readPDF.python. So this is basically retrieve the text information of the file from the PDF. And we also define utilities.python. So we define several parse or cleaning function to remove some unnecessary symbols or redundant text from the text file generated by PDF. So, and the most important one is also the ranking function. Here, this is our rank function. We borrowed the idea from MP2. And this is our documentation, brief documentation.
Thank you for watching our presentation. We put a lot of effort into this project. We hope you enjoy it and find it useful.